watoto ni wengi, chakula ni kidogo. Iko na watoto ya nyumbani na iko na watoto wa jirani. Iko namna hiyo. Nataka afafanue client wake. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, allow the parties to respond to those clarifications, starting with the team from the National Assembly, and then we move to the team from the Deputy President.
May, the Honorable Senator Ososi had no question directed to me. Senator Nyutu, what led me to audit the wealth of the Deputy President? I'm just doing my work as I'm in the Constitution. Part of my work is to oversight state officers. The Deputy President is one such state officer. I set myself to draft and present an impeachment motion, and I needed to support that impeachment motion with information. Nothing else. Why didn't I also audit the President? I was not intending to bring an impeachment motion against the President. If in future another member wants to bring an impeachment motion against the President, I believe they will be at liberty to also do their work in the manner they deem. Who did this particular motion? Yours truly speaking before you, Mwangi Mutuse, the Member of Parliament for Kibwezi West, did the particular motion. You have listed several companies. Yes, indeed, we have listed several companies. And just to clarify, there are those companies that I was led by advocates for His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, and I said we have no problem with them. But also, there are companies that we have issues with, and we have stated the companies that we have issues with. And you would know, because you have handled impeachment motions in the past, that just because we do not have an issue with one particular company does not mean that those that we have been proved also fall with it. But also importantly, why we listed these companies is also to demonstrate character. Character in the sense that if you have one company that is a construction company, then why do you have three others that are dormant? Why don't you use just that one that is a construction company to do your construction work? So it was also to demonstrate a web, an intricate web of activity to hide and conceal. And that's why we listed those companies. The affidavit of Jomo, it did not complete because it was time barred, so I do not know what to respond because he just began mentioning about the affidavit of Jomo. Senator Professor Ojambo, Senator for Kisumu, shareholding of the 22 companies. Yes, we have appended the CR12s for the 22 companies to show that His Excellency the Deputy President has been owning what we are calling special purpose vehicles in the name of companies, either by himself or by his children or other proxies, as part of a character of a web, which is also consistent with the Esther Minor decision, and you can see those companies listed in the Esther Minor decision that are not consistent with the normal way of doing business. Because in the normal way of doing business, you would imagine if, for example, Safaricom, that is a telecommunication company, also under it had another 20 other telecommunication companies. For what purpose? You would ordinarily, a business person would concentrate on one company, it succeeds. Then if you have a different investment that is completely different from what you are doing, is when you open a different company. But all these companies, you look at their objects, you look at everything, they are all made to do the same thing. The question is why? And remember, the offense here is reasons to believe that the Deputy President has committed crimes. And we believe this is a good basis to show that these companies are not formed for a legitimate purpose. Senator, in terms of Vipingo and Olive Gardens, please see that Mr. Jomo is saying in black and white that he was a conduit for that purchase. We go to the Honorable Senator Mungatana, Senator for maswala ya sehemu fulani, basi wale Wakenya wengine wote nikiwa maswala ya sehemu fulani, basi wale Wakenya wengine wote nikiwa ndani tunajihisi kubaguliwa. Na sio tu, hata wale ambao wametoka sehemu tofauti na mlima, hata wale wa mlima pia wao, you setting them against the rest of Kenyans. Senator Enoch, Exodus 23, thank you. I'll keep it to myself. But I am not participating in any conspiracy against anyone. I am just doing my civic duty as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya and exercising my mandate as a member of the National Assembly, which is a constitutional mandate. I believe senators here also have done in the past, and even now and in the future, they will also bring issues in line with their mandate, in line with their responsibilities as citizens of the Republic of Kenya. Is this motion your own motion? Yes, it is my own motion. And in saying so, you say, I approved nothing. And that is not factual, just to say the least. If you go through the motion 11 grounds, and you look at each grounds, most of the grounds have sub-grounds. And you will see we have given clear evidence in many, many of them. And it was done right in Kitui town. In terms of oath of office, diligently serve the people of Kenya. Yes, and that is where the problem is. You sought to serve the people of Kenya, not the people of a region. That's where the problem is. Senator Veronica, charges of money laundering. I am not aware of any ongoing proceedings in respect of the DP in terms of money laundering, but I'm aware of that the Justice Maina decision has not been annulled on merit and therefore still remains good law. Senator Ledana Olekina, that was to the DP's lawyers. Senator Methu, my good friend, Nyandarua County Dairy, I consider I have not presented evidence on Nyandarua County Dairy because, of course, of the limiter. The question was whether there has been any complaint to NCIC about the Deputy President's remarks. I wouldn't know because I don't work for NCIC. I wouldn't know, just to be fair. Kuruwitu and CR12, Kuruwitu was bought at 250 million, money that has not that's why it has become very difficult sometimes even to investigate money laundering. And there is no dispute that the two sons of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua are directors of that company. That has not been disputed. Senator Asigi, where we are using the Oxford Dictionary and not Black's Law Dictionary, law has now also delved to the place of the common citizens also to understand what it is and not the jargon of the past. And so Oxford Dictionary also offers plain English definitions. And we thought it is also good to use plain English definition because not all of us are lawyers. I do not think that it is disputed that the definition we have given is wrong in terms of what constitutes gross misconduct. Senator, access documents. How did I access these documents, including accounts? I got the services of whistleblowers when people knew that I want to do this. I got the services, I got a lot of information from whistleblowers whom I do not intend to disclose their identity because they are protected under the Witness Protection Act. Honorable Kajwang, my counsel will be talking about the issue of Brobika and how it is, that particular director is related, is connected, is linked to the nexus between that particular thing or thereabout.
Now allow your
Thank
legal
you.
team to respond to the questions directed to them. If at all there are any questions directed to you.
Mr. Speaker, I believe the question was about whether there has been a complaint with regard to ground 8, any report to the relevant authorities. I believe there was a related question on whether the DP has been subjected to any prosecution for money laundering or related offenses. We are not aware of any complaint under Section 132 of the Penal Code to the police or any other relevant authority. Equally, we are not.
The legal team of the Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I will speak to the questions. I think I can say it here. My client, the Deputy President, is known as the truthful man. It is pursuant to this that he is truthful. Number 3, a contract and covenants in a contract must be performed if indeed any government, any contractor worthy of their name, worthy of their signature is to be believed in the future. The president, the party leaders all signed this consequence. They draw their force from the law. And I think Honorable Mbithe here mentioned it broadly, but I can tell you exactly where it is. Schedule 3 of the Political Parties Act requires every coalition to draw a coalition agreement. That is number 1. Number 2, it prescribes what is to go in that agreement. Among the things that the Political Parties Act Schedule 3 prescribes must be in the agreement is the sharing of power and responsibilities. So it's a matter of the law. And if, when the honorable members here retire, you will find that Article 108 who believe in his policy, who believe in his manifesto, who will implement what he had in mind when he campaigned on a specific platform. That's all he's saying. And it's very simple. If you don't believe in my policies, if you don't believe in my manifesto, how are you going to be the one I appoint to implement that? It wasn't about tribes set out in agreements. Now, political rhetoric might use certain words. Politicians use all manner of words. The party I represented in the last election was called Mganga many times in the campaign trail. But we know he's not a Mganga, you know? So, but it's political talk. Number 8, these agreements were not limited to Kenya Kwanza, as I say, because they're part of the law. The government that preceded Kenya Kwanza, Jubilee, had similar...
A point of order on the council.
To say the point that the agreements were dynamic, that politics is dynamic, that these things have a way of settling themselves, and they do. The next point I wish to say, I cannot say, I think he asked me the question about, for example, the constitution requiring PSs and others to be advertised. I cannot speak to how Kenya Kwanza intended to implement that, but like I've demonstrated, it was implemented. They found a way to do it. I don't know how they did it, but we're just speaking to what they did. Honorable Stuart Mazayo asked a question about Chakula Kikiva. You will note that a lot of the videos that were played here today were made in Nandi or in Kericho. There was...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, distinguished senators. The distinguished senator for Narok County has asked succinct questions. Number 1, if you look at the petition claimed 2 things. That number 1, the Deputy Chief Justice has no respect for the judiciary, which is why he made the allegations that he made against Justice Esther Maina. And number 2, that the Deputy Chief Justice, the Deputy President...
Senators, can I get an indication from Council for the National Assembly? How many witnesses do you intend to call beyond Honorable Mbithe.
Mr. Speaker, we have 3 more witnesses, and while on it, at the point we stopped examining the Honorable Mbithe, you said we had 45 minutes.
Yes, you have.
But when I went there, you said 40, so we were a bit alarmed.
No, you have 45 minutes.
Much obliged.
And the team for the Deputy President, you've exhausted your time, but there was 10 minutes that has been occasioned by the technicality on the videos. So you need to utilize that with the remaining 3 witnesses. Now, Honorable Senators, Honorable Mbithe is not going to leave. You're going to stay on as we hear the 3 witnesses, and then if the other clarifications that Honorable Senators wish to direct to you, please be available. Kindly usher in the second witness.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, we as counsel for the Deputy President would wish to borrow from our time to...
And your professional background?
Ministry of Health, and previously working the acting CEO, Kenya Medical Supplies Agency, KEMSA.
Please confirm whether you're the one that saw the affidavit on page 67 of volume 1.
Yes, I am.
In respect of which allegation in the motion did you swear this affidavit?
I have sworn affidavit on issues raised on paragraph 45J, 78C, in ground 7 and 11 of the motion for removal of the office by impeachment of His Excellency, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua.
Paragraph 78 of the motion, what does it say? 78A, that would be page 37 of 85.